7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the freaking frogs gay. Serious crap.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, gosh.
What's up, everybody? How goes it? Make sure. My volume good?
Yeah, a little loud. A little heavy on it.
All right. Turn it down to what it says is normal here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Much better.
Then again, I am like right up on the mic, so I can always back off a little bit. But anyway. What's up, YouTube? How goes it? How's everybody doing today? Welcome one, welcome all. Duke, how are you doing today?
Oh, not bad. You know, doing good things. Everything's well. You? How's things over for you?
Fine.
Your setup's looking really good, man. Your setup's you could just, I can't tell you moved, which is, I guess, a part of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I recreated the same thing in just a smaller space, so it like this is closer to me than it used to be and stuff.
Yeah.
My other room was about, I don't know, maybe like a foot wider this way, and then probably like 6 to 8 feet wider this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it came out good. It came out good. You got to come in here.
Yeah.
So
I did. I'll tell you the I didn't get to look at the 3 3/4 and the Star Wars stuff as much as I should have, but we were excited. We're trying to go hang out, so yeah, it's all we'll have time because we're gonna go. I want to go to the couple toy shops. You got to come to the toy shop in this area.
Well,
yeah, we'll do the whole thing. But hey, there's I just did a short chat a minute ago, and there's a Lapeer gun and knife show on the 15th and 14th of May or March.
14th. I can do the 14th. I can't do the 15th.
I can do the 14th in the morning. So I think we should go first thing on the 14th because I can't do the 15th or later in the afternoon on the 14th.
Yeah.
So
it's my wife's birthday, and I told you what I was on the 15th. I told you what I was doing with her. Yeah. So I'm taking her to a concert.
No, you didn't. You didn't tell me.
Did I? Yeah, I thought I did.
You said it was her birthday. That's all you told me.
Okay. Well, no, I'm taking her to a concert up in it Mount Pleasant?
Oh yeah.
There's a casino up there that has a
Soaring Eagle.
Yeah, there you go. And they're having a Boys to Men and Tony concert.
Oh, you're gonna have such a good time. You guys staying up there, or are you gonna come back?
I think we're just gonna come back. I mean, it's about an hour 45 drive each way. But we'll probably just come back.
It's worth it. Yeah, that's awesome. You'll love that. They have concerts up there all the time.
Yeah, she was I had to ask her first because I'm like, look, this is like almost a 2-hour drive there and back, and the tickets were not cheap, but it's her birthday, and so I was like, look, I normally would surprise you, but I got to make sure you're okay with this before I do this.
Yeah, that you need to ask.
I asked her, and she's like, "Fuck yeah!" Well, she didn't say it. She just gave me a big kiss and said, "Oh yes." So, she was very excited about that. So we're on the 15th that night. We're going to a Boys to Men concert. But yeah, the 14th I can definitely do that. I'll have to find out if I work that day though. I don't know yet. So I'm not sure, but anyway, so what was I going to say? Oh no, I did watch your video earlier. Were you serious about wanting to do something like a little studio?
I am 100% serious that I want to set up something in my garage.
Yeah.
Because that's like the best thing we could do, where I want to do a thing where we have, like, we set up something and it could be like set up, tear down, like nothing permanent.
Yeah.
But to do something where we could stand in front of a camera and have like a stand and talk with guns behind us, like a countertop thing, where we would just do something where, I mean, it's akin back to the Barry and the Barry videos where they would just stand and talk about like guns and pick guns and handle guns in front of you, and we could do videos like that just because in the realm of what we appreciate, you know, top 5 cool guns, things to talk about. And I just think that would be a neat way to do it, because if we do something like that, that's where we're together and doing videos.
I mean, I'm down. Like I said, if you've got the space, I have the equipment. I mean,
yeah, and we could
I know you didn't get a chance to look at it, but I've got a really good camera.
Yeah.
And like lights and all kinds of stuff. So I mean,
right.
I can contribute if you've got space to do something.
I got space, and it's just a rough area. So it's just a garage with a table in the background, with a bench. I mean, then we could have things that we have set up and talk about. And
you just need some of that pegboard that you can hang some guns on.
That's exactly what I want to put on the background. So
you just need like a little section. You go to Home Depot and get a little section of pegboard that's just big enough for a background, and then you can just hang different guns on it whenever you want.
Right, and it's just like a quick setup. Like, okay, let's shoot a video. Let's do a sit down and talk, and then we're in the garage, so we can do it at any time of night, or day or night, so it's not bothering anybody.
Yeah,
it's not like we gotta let's go rent a studio space. Like, no, we can just do it there. And then there's an area that's like in between us called the Hogbacks, and I want to look at it, and I would like to go hiking out there with you and I, and like we could go and like build a shelter area and do like a live chat out in the woods. I think would be kind of cool one evening where we go up and set up out there, and then like I said, it's really cool in the spring, but we could do one in like now. It's not that cold.
No, it's not that.
It'd be a super good time to go out there and do like a live chat. I just want to look at the rules and stuff. It's not cold to me until it gets down below 20. Then I'm like, I don't really want to be outside below 20. Yeah,
like in the 20s, I'm fine. Like we were out yesterday. It was like 23, and I was out in shorts and cleaning my car out. Like, and it's fine. I can handle. I can be outside as long as it's no lower than like 20. I'm good. Because after that, I'm just like, nah, I'd rather just fucking stay inside.
I mean, we're almost into March where we're gonna be cold, but we're not gonna be like stupid cold.
Yeah. Well, it was in the 40s today.
Yeah, super nice. So
like all the snow was melting and shit.
Yeah, I just think that the opportunity for us to do like a sit and talk and go over cool things that we like in a different format other than this would be a neat opportunity, and to do live shows like that too if we wanted to.
Yeah, I'm down, man.
Yeah, because there's where we could just kind of set up and brainstorm would be a neat thing, and then I want to do the meetup soon. I want to plan the meetup soon, where we go to Bilbo's Tavern, Bilbo's Pizza out there, and then we go to like a gun shop or something and meet up out there with people, because that's at least there's a couple of dudes in the area. I think we want to set that up. And yeah, man, it'll be awesome. I'm super excited about the studio though, because then we can do different videos and talk about different things. And I guess not with live chats, because we can't have guns in front of us with live chats. But
yeah, not with live chats. But yeah, I still want to go to that one. I forget the name. What's that one gun shop you told me about that sells like all the trade-ins and stuff?
CMP.
CMP. Okay.
Lansing or Williams, the one by you. CMP is the one with the good trade-ins. We need to go out there ASAP. I want to go out there this week. There could be a time where we could meet up, like if we were to meet up around 2 or something, and then head directly out that way. Yeah. We could make it by 3 and they close at like 4 or 4:30, and we could make it out of there. We could make it there at like 2:45. That gives you enough time to browse, and if you were going to buy something, to not be the jerk that buys something at 15 minutes before they close.
Yeah.
And still be out of there in reasonable time and be home reasonable.
That reminds me, because I do want to buy stuff. I got to get my license switched over, but I got to get my birth certificate. I can't find it anywhere, so I think I have to order a new one because when I talked to them at the DMV or whatever, they said, well, if you're coming from another state, you need your Social Security card and your other ID and your birth certificate. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I haven't needed my birth certificate for an ID since like I was 16. And so I have it somewhere. I just can't find it. And I'm wondering if it's just going to be quicker to just, I know you can go to, what is it, the Office of Statistics or whatever, and just get a copy. If that would be quicker than trying to find mine. Because I got to get my ID switched over as soon as possible. I was going to do it last week, but I couldn't find my damn birth certificate.
Oh, yeah.
And I need to get my ID here so that if I want to buy a gun, among other things that I need to do, I can. But I got to figure that out, what I need to do to get a copy of my birth certificate, which I can't remember. It's not the Social Security Administration does it. I think it's like the Office of Statistics or something. Every state should have them. I think I'll have to check. I might be able to do it online, but I don't know for sure. I think the last time I got a copy, which was like 15 years ago, I think I was able to do it online and they sent it to me. But I gotta check and see, because I thought I have all my paperwork when we moved, and Social Security cards, and all my kids' birth certificate, and my wife's birth certificate, and her Social Security cards, and everybody else's shit was in there, and my Social Security card's in there, but my birth certificate wasn't there. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
That's
this
wild.
is the only place I would put it.
Yeah,
So
you just gotta contact, and they'll send it to you. I had to get a copy of mine last couple of years.
yeah, because I made an appointment and everything to go to the DMV here in Lapeer last week, and then I went through, after I made the appointment, I went through, here's the list of documents you need. And I was like, okay, let me grab everything. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had to go in and cancel my appointment because I couldn't find it. We didn't leave anything in that house, so I know it's here somewhere.
Yeah, you just can't find it.
I just don't know where.
Exactly.
It didn't get put in with the paperwork it should have been put in with, and so we've still got like boxes of stuff in like the shed and stuff that we haven't gone through yet because we just haven't had time. The house is mostly set up, which I think it looks okay. It looks okay. We got a few more things to do around the house. I got to hang some curtains and do some other stuff maybe this weekend. But there's just a lot of little paperwork and boxes of stuff that we were like, I would open up a box and go, there's nothing in there I need right now. Throw it in the shed. And my son would take it to the shed because I'm like, I got too much other crap to deal with. So I don't know. I'm probably just going to order another one and keep looking for it. And whichever one I find, either one gets here or I find the one first, then I can make that appointment. Because I noticed here in Lapeer, I can get online, and because they're not real busy, like I can have an appointment the next day to get my license.
Which, like I said, in retrospect, ain't that bad. It made me upset the first couple times I thought about it, had to do it. But in retrospect, it's like, well, at least you go in and you walk in. It's like a 5-minute wait. So that's better than a 4-hour wait or 3-hour wait, and you still, get through the struggle bus. But, well, good, man. That's good to hear. I'm glad to. But
Calhoun in the chat saying that the CMP you're talking about, that's the civilian marksmanship program, like that kind of CMP?
No, it's not CMP like that. It's CMP in Lansing, Michigan.
So it just stands for something else?
Yeah, it's CMP Distributors Incorporated. I don't know what the CMP stands for, to be honest with you, but it's let me see. I don't know. It's CMP. That's all I know. It probably means something, but it is a privately owned gun shop that sells predominantly they do a bunch of government contracts and local law enforcement contracts, and they just buy everything in huge bulk. So they'll buy they bought all the Glocks from Michigan State Police because Michigan State Police just transferred over. They dropped Glocks and went to SIG M17s.
Yeah.
The black version, though, I don't know what that is. It's special, law enforcement. So they bought all of Michigan State's Glocks.
Okay.
like all the state troopers Glocks,
Yeah.
and then they'll buy like department shotguns, so or ARs or their 40s or their Smith & Wesson MMPs, and there was a bunch of model. There's like I don't know what revolver it was, but it was a more common revolver, not the Model 10, but it was like a Smith & Wesson something, because they're at Academy. Academy has them right now. They had a bunch of them, and then there's just, I don't know if they just pay dirt cheap or what they get, but there is just a ton of cheap guns there. Guns at prices at which you feel comfortable paying for. Like I bought a Glock 48 for $300. That's crazy. It was brand new. It was used, but a Glock 48 for $300 used. That's crazy. But that's appropriate though.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a bunch of wheel guns. They had a bunch of used guns. There was all kinds of fun stuff. And then they have all the, like I said, like the trade-ins. Like there's a bunch of used M16s and M4s, and anyways, just it feels like they must do some sort of contracts, because all their guns are priced to move. So it feels like Christmas going in there, and I love going in there. Every time I go in there, I'm happy. So anyways, so yeah, we'll go there soon. Like I want to go there like this week or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in Lansing.
Whenever.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I usually get off early in the afternoon from work, so.
Okay. All right, we'll figure it out then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just fun. It's a good place, and I like the guy behind the counter. There's like a young kid he's enthusiastic about guns and about helping people and being a good guy. And then there's like an old guy who's just as kind and nice, and you can tell they're happy to be there slinging guns all day. So that makes your experience. I think like when I bought my first RMR, the guy put it on for like free or reduced price and helped me out, and I was happy with the outcome, because I spent like a bunch of money that day, so it was cool.
All right, cool. I think I found the place where I can get my birth certificate.
Yeah,
But let's see. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Sorry, me and Duke are just sitting here talking. I don't mean to ignore y'all. I see you out there talking. Ledley says Duke wants to creep on you in the woods. I mean, who wouldn't? I'm used to it. It's okay. Dwayne says thoughts on the new Gerson Expo. Put a video in general Discord. Gerson Expo. What's the Expo? General Discord. Let's see. Gerson Expo. Is that this GeForce RPX9 Exodus? Is that the one you're talking about there, Dwayne? Is that it? Let me see. Let's see.
Oh, sorry, I jumped off real quick.
No, that's cool. No, somebody was asking me about the Gerson Expo. I'm not. Is that what this is? This Exodus? Fucking yeah, I think that's got to be what it is.
What?
It's the GeForce RPX9 Exodus. It's a not a Glock. It's I guess Gerson's new not a Glock, made in Turkey.
Oh no! Somebody asked me about this not a Glock stuff earlier. Man, I get it if it's your thing. I get if you want to. I'm not going to knock if somebody's into it. It's just not me. I am totally fine with a police trade-in used Glock for $300 to $400, and I know what I'm getting. I don't want something that's not what I want. I can't do it. I don't like this. I don't like the daggers. I don't like anything else other than Glock if I want a Glock. You know what I mean? It's just not me, man.
I'm looking at it here. I mean, it looks. I don't know.
I'm not doing it, man.
It looks fine. I mean, you know, It's just not a Glock with some extra slide serrations and cuts cut into it to make it look cooler, I guess. And it's got fiber optic front and rear, and it's got a slide cut for it, RMR cut, so you can put an RMR on it. I'm not sure what the price point is on it. Let me look at the price point. I mean, in general, like, let me see if I can find one. I want to try and find this price point. Where's the price point? Somebody give me a price point. Come on. Not even MSRP? What the hell? Nothing? Okay, let me see if I can find it at Sportsman Warehouse. So $275. Okay. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I mean, it's probably a fine gun, and the price is decent. I mean, $275 under $3 is a good price for most of these guns. And look, I do like the dagger. The one I've got is I've never had any problems with it. I like it. You know, and they tend to run for a pretty good price. But I do in general agree, though, that if you can get a Glock for like $350 or less, which you can, there's a lot of places that sell them online, locally, that sell used trade-ins that, let's be honest, I've bought one before. My Glock 21 is a trade-in Glock 21. They are rarely shot, usually well taken care of. The worst thing you can say about most trade-ins is they will have holster wear on them. And when you've got that available, I mean, like, okay, I can definitely see the argument, and it makes sense. Like with the dagger I've got. Okay, I wanted a Glock-esque type gun that I wanted to like put an RMR on and do some other stuff too, and I didn't want to spend as much money as it would cost even buying a police trade-in and either replacing the slide that's already cut or sending it off to have the slide cut for an RMR and all that kind of stuff, because then you're going to spend, you know, probably at least another $200 just to get that. So I see the argument. It depends on what you want to do with it. Like, I guess if you're gonna do all that stuff to it and you're gonna spend all that money, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're gonna save some money, like getting a dagger or whatever, and that makes sense. But if you're just looking for a decent carry gun that you're not gonna really do anything to, other than, as I would always recommend, changing the fucking sights out on your Glock with some steel sights, then I don't really see much point to it. And to be honest, all the Glock clones out there, all the Nada Glocks out there have really, really, really burned me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like every time I see a new one, I'm just like, I fucking don't care. Like,
everybody wants to have not a Glock, and I'm like, okay, but I have Glocks. Why do I don't need 10 Nada Glocks, man?
Yeah. And yeah, and it's just, after a while, it's just kind of fucking ridiculous, to be honest. And I just stopped caring. Look, I'm sure, like, first of all, okay, so I have problems with Gerson stuff just because they're from Turkey. That's a whole thing. So that's honestly my biggest sticking point on it of why I wouldn't get one. The next one would be, it's yet just another Nada Glock out of all the other Nada Glocks that exist. And if you want one, sure, go get one, but I would never be interested in it. And then you get down to making that decision on, okay, well, if you're really wanting a Glock gun, what are you going to do to it? And then that's kind of where it comes down for me. If you're going to add an RMR and do all this other stuff to it, and you want it out of the box with some upgraded sights and everything else like that, then sure, get that, or get a dagger, or whatever. But you're really, I mean, especially with the dagger, I mean, you're not really saving money
Right.
Because it's going to cost you the same amount. Again, unless you want those upgrades, and then you are saving money. So depends on what you're going to do with it. I like my dagger. I like my dagger a lot. I have carried my dagger. I think it's a great gun. However, it's probably the only not a Glock I will ever buy.
Yeah.
And honestly, as much as I wanted it, I mean, X Adam 1, I don't know if he's out there in the chat tonight, but he's the one that got it for me as a gift. I may never have actually bought it for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I have it. I love the gun. It's great. I like it a lot, but I'll probably never buy another not a Glock. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I guess it just depends on what you want to do. I'm not knocking them. I've seen enough torture test videos and look, Glock has become the thing, right? And I kind of put in this, I've said this about 1911s for a really long time. It's really hard to fuck up a 1911 at this point, right? They've been out for a really long time. Everybody who fucking makes one makes a decent 1911. I mean, occasionally you get fucking turds out there in the wild, but rarely is it like an entire gun line, you know. Some companies are better than others at you know, making sure what goes out the door is top notch, and that's where you run into problems more than the design and the manufacture of the gun itself. And I think we are at a point now where any of these not a Glocks out there are probably at the same point. Glocks are not a difficult gun to copy.
No, right.
And so chances are, if you get one that was, I mean, dude, people have been assembling their own not a Glocks out of, you know, I mean, going back, you know, I first kind of ran into it over 15 years ago before I even started a YouTube channel, where people were basically, for all intents and purposes, the only thing left that was actually Glock on their gun was just the slide and the polymer frame, like nothing else, not the barrel, not the sights, none of the internal parts. They'd all been swapped out for like Wolf or Storm Lake or whatever, right? Back in the day, those were the two big names in Glock aftermarket parts. And these guns were fucking run like a champ. So the idea of building a Glock clone is not anything new. It's been done for a long time and been done with great results, and it can definitely be done. So I'm sure all these guns are great. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they work great. You occasionally have to, you know, worry about quality control from certain companies, but the design itself is tried and true, and everybody at this point knows how to make a fucking Glock. So that's not the issue. It's just why. That's what it comes down to. Why? And my only reasoning for why is you can save a couple $100 by getting something that's like already cut for an RMR and already has upgraded sights that you were going to do to this Glock anyway. That's really the only reason. And I just don't see another point to it after that.
I get that, and that's exactly kind of where I'm at. I'm not mad at anybody. I won't say no, you shouldn't do it. I just admit I'm strictly at the point of, hey man, that's not my thing. And I won't tell somebody to do it. It's just there's other options out there for me as a budget guy, and more of a I'm pretty basic. You know, give me I got 2-3 guns.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's see. Oh, I did miss a super chat here from Jar Jar's my lover. I bet Jar Jar's a sensitive lover, especially with that tongue. Oh, can you imagine?
Oh gosh.
Anyway, birth certificate should be easy. Went to my local sub courthouse, easy peasy. Well, I'm looking online right now as we're sitting here talking, and I can just order it online from the Texas.gov. So
okay, so this is what I'm looking at. Well, this was kind of what was there last time. It's a Smith & Wesson model 64-6.
Okay,
that must have been the last revolver that somebody was carrying, because that's what they had in surplus. So it's a 64-6 38 special 4-inch revolver. they had those, and they look like a probably like 80s or 90s revolver, because I talked to a guy who was working for Michigan Department of Corrections and told me they carried revolvers until like 2002. And I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. There was definitely probably guys that were doing that. So I don't know. Once I got this revolver, I've been in kind of a kick, man, of how revolvers are kind of neat. So I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see. Lele says at least Taurus hasn't made a true not a Glock. No, Taurus hasn't made really a not a Glock yet. I mean, they had that what's that TS series? Did that even ever get released? Like they had the TS. Remember, it was several years ago. They announced the TH, which was their hammer fired, and their TS, which was their striker fired guns. The THs were just rebranded, kind of updated 800 series guns, which I've owned. They're great guns. They're very, they're basically polymer framed SIGs is essentially what they are. I've owned them. They're great guns. Love them. The TS series, I never saw anywhere. Like it was announced at the same time and I never saw it. So I never really got a chance to get my hands on it, but it came across as very Glockish. I don't know. I mean, I never got to take one apart and look at the internals and see, but it was, kind of a typical what you would expect from a not a Glock with the the trigger tab and striker fired polymer, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know for sure. It could have internally been different. Maybe it would have been more like a Smith & Wesson M&P internally. I don't know. So I don't know if those things ever came to the United States. Which makes sense, honestly, because like it would just be yet another not a Glock,
Right.
And Taurus already is doing pretty damn well with all their guns,
Well, they have a market, and I think they do well in their market. So I think in this day and age, are you really doing that well? Are the not a Glocks just killing the Glock market? No, there's no way, man.
No, I mean people are still buying Glocks hand over fist. Glock are not hurting at the moment. So I don't think it's really doing anything to them personally. So I don't think they really care. Honestly, it doesn't. I mean, there was a time. Remember back in the '90s when they sued Smith & Wesson for the Sigma series, or was it the Sigma series, or was it called something before they got sued, and then they came back and rebranded it the Sigma series? I can't remember if it was the same name or not before and after the lawsuit.
I thought Sigma was what came after, but I don't quote me on that.
And that may be right. I just don't remember what it was called before the lawsuit, because it was essentially the same gun that they made changes to make it a much shittier gun. Honestly. That was seemingly the last time Glock gave a shit, but that was in the late 90s. So, at that time they were still gathering their footing and trying to, like, they were doing pretty well in the law enforcement market, but they had by far in the late 90s not, they hadn't saturated the market yet. They were trying, but they didn't really saturate the market till mid 2000s, I think, would be about the time that they definitely were like the number one pistol used across the country. But late 90s, they were still like selling their product in their territory, and now I don't think they care. Because it's I
don't think so.
Yeah, make clones. We don't give a shit. We still sell a ton of guns. So yeah, I don't think they give much of a shit anymore. So Tarkay dropped in a super chat, says PSA's number one poll winner is another 2011 for between 1.5 to 1.7 times Earth's gravity. The only thing the market needs less of besides another Glock clone. A 2011? I would love to. The 2011s, I don't think. I mean, that's the 2011 is the double stack version. I think we could use more double stack of 1911s out on the market. I mean, most companies make like one, but they're usually really expensive. Outside of like Rock Island Armory has a couple of models in like 10 millimeter and 45 of their 2011s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the 2011s are oversaturated. Now, if you're just talking about another 1911, then yeah, those are everywhere. But the 2011s, I mean, I don't own a 2011 yet. I would love to own a 2011. I honestly, the 2011 I want, I've been talking about this for a couple of years. 2011 I want to get is the Rock Island Armory 10 millimeter.
Uh-huh.
That's the one I want. It would be my only 10 millimeter. And I wouldn't mind, and I would like to have a 10 millimeter in a 2011 design, because I just think that would be freaking cool. And
I agree.
So, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with them coming out with another 2011 double stack 1911s. I don't think there's too many of those on the market. So that one's not that bad for me. But so Duke, I heard you talking earlier in your little like 8.5 minute fucking chat before you got cut off or something. I don't know what that happened.
Well, driving home, I must hit a bad area and it just kills my chat.
Yeah.
So then I like revamped it and then did like another one. So it was just on my way home. Mm-hmm.
But you were talking briefly about like the idea of like how much. I mean, it was because I think somebody asked you about Glocks or whatever. But like, if you had, and I know we've talked about this before, but it always bears repeating. If somebody out there is like, okay, I need to try and get myself set up, and I've got $1,000 to spend.
Yeah.
What are the things would you recommend? Like, first of all, I think this is a great topic if we did a fucking video in your garage.
Oh yeah, this is
each bring our own like 3 guns.
Yeah,
or 2 guns or whatever it is for the $1,000.
Yeah, this was just started because, and I'll pay homage to at least Tactical Muffin Top. I saw a video and he was like, how to start prepping for $5,000, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a huge step. So my thought was just in my mind was like, well, if somebody was going to start out, had no guns, and they needed a gun package for $1,000, you would just you could spend $1,000 and you could be like set up 1,000 times better than everyone else by getting these 3 guns. And it's a Glock trade-in. So it's a Glock police trade-in for $300, $350 to $100, $350. In a model 17 or a 19. I'll give you your choice. If you wanted a little bit more concealable, or you got small hands, or you got man hands, and you want a 17. So I would get a police trade-in 17 or 19. The second gun I would get would be a shotgun, a Maverick 88 for $200. And that's like if you couldn't get it a little cheaper, but I'll give you $200 to $250. So that'll bring you, a shotgun is going to answer a majority of your problems that a pistol can't in a SHTF, home defense, or whatever situation. Your wife is crouched behind a bed and you're going to find out what's going on with a pistol. So that's acceptable. Now you have 2 guns. And then the third gun is a PSA AR-15 that is $400. The bare basic. And you have like I think I leave you with $100 left, so it's even like a $900 challenge, and that's $100 you could spend on like a couple slings and a iron sights for your, and maybe some more magazines, however you want to split that up. But that's the ultimate package for me.
No, I think it's hard to argue with that. I remember when I did my, because I did. The videos, what used to be my most popular videos, till I had to take them down in the purge of 2018. But I did my 3 guns for $500, 3 guns for $1,000, and 3 guns for $1,500. At the time, you could get 3 guns for $500. Oh
yeah.
I mean, I guess you still technically could today. It'd just be a lot fucking harder. Yeah, and it's hard to argue with that. I mean, for $1,000, trade in Glock, good, cheap, but workable shotgun, which the Maverick 88 for around $200 is the best option on the market. It is as somebody, and I've done videos on this, as somebody who has taken down side by side a Maverick 88 and a Mossberg 500, they are the same gun with only two exceptions, and that is the position of the safety, which honestly, as a right-handed shooter, I like the position of the safety on the Maverick better. If you're not a right-handed shooter, I get why you would prefer the top tang safety for ambidextrous reasons. And then the fact that the fore end is a one-piece fore end that has the action bars as a part of it, so you can't just like change out the fore end whenever you want. You have to change out the action bars and everything, and that's just done for cost saving, right? Both those things are done for cost saving because it's way easier to put a crossbar safety on a trigger. There's less machining, less that goes into it. It's a simpler design than putting that top tang safety on. And then the same thing with the fore end. It's just a cheaper design because it's a one-piece fore end. Other than that, they are fucking identical. Everything in them is 100% identical across the board. It is one of the best shotguns that you can get, and you're not going to spend a lot of money on it. I remember the good old days when brand new, they cost $149. But even today, you can still get them for $200. You know, they're not expensive at all, and they're fantastic. I've got at least two of them in my safe. So I love them, and they're great. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it's hard with PSA doing sales all the time. It's hard to beat. You can get an AR for $400. You can. It's not an issue. And somehow, even in the face of inflation over the last few years, PSA has managed to stay really, really price competitive. And I mean, I personally haven't noticed their prices jump. I mean, you know, I still see, like you said, the ability to buy a complete upper and a complete lower on their daily deals and slap a rifle together for $400. So it's really, really doable to put together $1,000 arsenal so that you've got all your bases covered with those three things right there. And again, you know, people say, well, what about hunting? Well, you know, you can hunt with an AR-15. You know what I mean? Maybe not everything, but you can certainly hunt with an AR-15. If shit hits the fan and you've got a police trading Glock, a Maverick 88, and a PSA AR-15, you're doing better than 99% of the rest of the people out there. You know, you've got all your bases covered. Yeah, there are going to be people like me and Duke who have more shit, but we're not the majority of people out there, right? You're better than most people. And to be honest, if shit really hit the fan, like, I can't carry all these fucking guns with me anyway, so it's not really going to make much fucking difference. You know.
Yeah, unlike all the crazies tell you, like, you can hunt with an AR-15.
Yeah. You totally can. And
it's not just a sport rifle, as they call it.
No, it's
a rifle you can go hunt with.
It's a good all-around rifle for many, many things, but
it's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, it really is. It's I mean, you know, but you know, I mean, and that's the other thing is, especially if you're getting into prepping, right? Like, you don't, I mean, yeah, guns and ammo and all that stuff are cool and fun, but if you really want to get into prepping, you got a lot more to spend your money on than guns. You know what I mean? If you want to be prepared for a hurricane or a fucking forest fire or mudslides or economic problems or whatever the fuck it is you're prepping for, all of the above preferably, like, yeah, you want to have a couple guns, but you got to, I mean, there's medical supplies and food and you know, all kinds of other stuff that you got to spend money on. You don't want to dump $5,000 into your quote unquote arsenal. I mean, if you can, if you've got the ability to do that, that's awesome. Good for you. You know what I mean? But most people do not. And you can get a really, really good setup pretty damn affordably. I mean, that's what, 3 Transformers there, Jared?
Well, it depends on who makes it.
Yeah. That's 3 Masterpiece Transformers, maybe 4 if you catch a sale. But yeah, and you really don't. And that's the one thing that I used to, when I used to do a lot more prepping videos. That's the one thing that a lot of people that I talked to like stressed out about the most was you go on YouTube and you watch all these videos and everybody's telling you that you got to have the latest greatest fucking, if you want to survive, latest greatest Daniel Defense or fucking BCM or Colt or whatever, and those are all phenomenal guns, and if you can afford to do that and still take care of all the rest of the shit you got to take care of, fucking do it. Like, by all means do it. But you don't need to. I remember, like, because I did prepping videos a lot for the first 5 years I was on YouTube, and like it like you could tell people really stressed out about that stuff. And like, yeah, I mean, there's some guns you want to stay away from. Please, for the love of God, don't buy anything Kel-Tec. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's shit that you don't want to buy, but like, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. We and I know most people in the audience here know this, but we're kind of at a really like a golden age of guns. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We really are.
This is the 100% golden age of guns. Because,
Right.
and I think we've had like a renaissance of it, because I would say we had a really good age in like 2000, like late 2000s or like 2010s. I think that was a great time to be into guns, but it also wasn't for prices, because ARs were like $2,000 for like
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
And yes, ammo was cool, but like now we have everything you could want. You can get at a reasonable price, like mostly. If you want an AK, you can find an AK at a reasonable price. If you want an AR, you can definitely get an AR at a reasonable price. We got choices, man. I'm very happy.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a gun owner, because and I know, because we, you know, a lot of people talked about this as COVID was dying off, because we had the COVID panic. We all remember people were panic buying guns for ridiculous prices. I'm not gonna lie, I sold a couple of guns during that time, and was like, okay, cool. Guns that I didn't want, didn't need, that kind of thing, and I made a good deal on them. I more than got my money back. But afterwards, you know, inflation started kicking in, and that was a question that I remember several people in the chats were asking, which is, should we be buying guns? Are guns gonna fucking shoot up in price because of inflation and everything else? And surprisingly, they haven't. Like, eggs have gone through the roof. Granted, I know that's not because of inflation right now, but like food and meats and all kinds of things have gone up ridiculously over the last 4 years, and guns haven't. I haven't noticed any major uptick in guns as far as prices go. And for the last 10 years at least, we've just been flushed, and it hasn't changed, you know, since all this inflation. We've been flushed with you know, everything you can possibly imagine. You know, every kind of AR you would ever want to slap together. You know, you want a 1911, you can have it. You want a Glock, you can have it. You want a not a Glock, you can have it. You want a shotgun, you want a hunting rifle, like, and the prices are not insane. Because I remember, for those old fogies like me, back in the 90s, like there was a reason, and this kind of carried over into 2000s all the way up into the 2010s. And I know we've talked about this before, but like, there was a reason, especially in the 90s, that surplus guns were a huge market and became a really huge market. Now, because of my age, I couldn't tell you, you know, I'm sure there have been other times in history, like probably after World War II and stuff like that, where surplus guns were, you know, really like a big part of gun sales as far as the market goes. But in the 90s, they were a big part of gun sales, because from what I remember in the 90s, guns were not cheap comparatively to, like, you know, the value of a dollar. Like, they were more expensive. You know, if you know, even Taurus at the time was, you know, pound for pound, like as far as what your dollar's worth, cost more money than they do today. And the surplus market was really big when I was getting into guns. And I remember, because, you know, I got into guns and I had friends who were into guns and their families were into guns and stuff like that. And I came from a family that didn't dislike guns, but they weren't into guns, so they didn't know anything about guns. So I got all my information from talking to other people and going to gun shows and going hunting with other people. And you know, it was all about the surplus stuff. It was all about the used market and the surplus market and that kind of thing. And that's where you got your deals. And that's the stuff people were stocking up on because that was the affordable thing. And while I would love for there still to be an affordable surplus market, we have an affordable everything market right now. And it's awesome. Ammo's much pricier than it used to be. That is one thing I've noticed. In fact, Duke, when we went Saturday night, and I was looking at some of the prices, I was like, fuck, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Not everything. Well, like I used to pick up a 50, and this was just in the last 10 years. I used to pick up, you pick up some 38 special. I used to pick up, 50 round box of 38 special for like $15.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the time. And this has just been in the last 10 years.
Yeah. That does.
And now it's double that.
I also think that you can find reasonable deals. You got to buy in bulk and you got to buy online, and that's just where we're at. I'm okay with that. Yeah, you got to probably spend a little bit more. It's the price of doing business, but and I think that's why some of the box retailers. I mean, you can't tell me that Dunham's is selling guns. I guess they might be. I guess I could be wrong, but there's no way they're slinging guns like they need to be. I guarantee that's the case because ain't nobody buying guns from them. Like they are other places, and they don't do deals. I don't know if they don't do stuff, but I'm not going to buy things from there. I bought things from there in the 2000s, in the 2010s when you could actually get good deals, and there was big things on sale, things we liked, but not anymore. But I don't know. Yeah, I think I just think we're in a golden age again, man. I think well, you said this is the golden age of guns. We can get what we want relatively cheaply. In retrospect, you can build all kinds of AR. I mean, everybody I know, like at one time I know at least one guy built an AR. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if one guy will build one, then I'll know another guy who starts to build one.
And somebody's always building up a new AR. Yeah.
Granted, all we do is talk to gun people.
Yeah.
But that's not that many people that I physically talk to that I'm like, someone is always building one or about to build one or just built one.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it is what it is.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a golden age. Even more so, like, I go back 15 years when I first got on YouTube and started talking about guns publicly. And so I started, I think, paying attention to a lot more stuff other than just, before then I would just pay attention to what I was going to buy. Right. And then when I got on YouTube, I started paying attention to more stuff as far as prices and things and kind of paying attention to more the market. And yeah, even going back 15 years when I first started on YouTube, like prices were hella more than that. Like you couldn't get an AR-15. Like you could get like a DPMS for like $600 if you wanted. But if you wanted a decent AR-15, you're spending at least $1,000. And this was not, I mean, relatively speaking, this was not that long ago. And that was the other thing too, is Glocks. That's another thing. Glocks have stayed like the same price since I can remember. They've always been around $500 to $550 brand new.
Yep, it's like Arizona tea, man. They're just holding out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was obviously 15 years ago a lot more expensive. But now, that's not a bad price. That's a pretty standard low end, middle to low end price.
Yeah.
So, it is. It's a good time. It's a good time to be looking to build up the stuff you need. When prices on everything else are nuts, like right now, I mean, honestly, on the prepping side, building up food and stuff is way more expensive than it was 5 years ago. And that sucks. That really sucks. Which, like, you saw, Duke, like, that's why I was not gonna just fucking get rid of all the food I had. I'd drag that shit up here with me.
Yep. Especially there's certain storage of food that like you do transport and bring with you, and I still think there's ways to do it. It's a little bit more dynamic, but I think there's ways. Like I said, it's just the priority in which what you do. I've stayed steady throughout my time in prep world, and it's the long game as wins. It's not the guy that can drop. Well, I dropped $1,000 this month. Okay, that's great, but then you haven't done anything in 3 years, man.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything in 3 years, and so okay, what about the guy who spends $100 a month on ammo, or like $40 a month, even $40 a month on ammo, dude? That's a box of ammo a month. That's a couple boxes a month, man, depending on what you get. But that's the guy who's in it for the long haul and who makes big gains over time because he's in it all the time and he stays prepped up. That's the winner, man. It's the small things. Like I've got a finite amount of money I spend on ammo. It's a finite. It hasn't changed. But it may mean I get a little bit less when things fluctuate. But in the end, I still stay steady. That's how you win.
Yep. Well, yeah, and I'll be the first one to be honest. Last couple of years, I have not lived up to this, but for a long time, I did, and I will still preach this even when I'm not the one actively doing it, which I'm going to try and get back into doing it. But go buy a box of ammo every paycheck of something that you need, something that you have, 9mm, 5.56, whatever the hell it is. Go buy a box of ammo every time you get paid. Even if it's just $10, $15, right?
Yep.
And that will build your supply. That's how I built my supply. I mean, very rarely did I ever, and I've been stocking up on ammo for, I don't know. I think I first started doing it around 2005, 2006. Very rarely did I ever go out and buy big bulks of ammo. That's I mean, it's occasionally you'd find a good deal or something, but the vast majority, it was just consistently going and stopping by either the gun store or, for me at the time, Academy or wherever, and picking up a box or two and just building that up over time.
Funny thing you brought that up, because that's the strategy I've been doing. It's just like buy a little box. I mean, how much is a box of ammo really? Like, you're spending something from $9 to worst case to maybe $30 or something. I mean, if you can't spend that much money, you got a little bit worse of problems when it comes to money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live in a slave county like I do, $28 to $30,
You remember where I'm at? I get taxed for everything.
We do too. We have an ammo tax. So
let me catch up on these super chats. Kowloon says, "Read my last chat," to which he said, 2011 equals overpriced 2-stack 9mm 1911 PSI. Guess said they're going to shoot for 2 G's of beans. They are oversaturated. You must not pay attention to the market. Oh Jesus, 9mm for 2 G's? Fuck that. Yeah, no, that's insane. No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're talking about the PSA 2011. I think they're gonna go for like maybe 12 to 1500. I can see that.
Yeah, that's still too much. That's still when you can pick up a Rock Island in either 45 or 10mm for about $700 to $750. No, no. Sorry, that's too much.
Are 2011 the new ink gun now for some reason?
I don't know. I mean, I
understand. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. I understand where you come from because we're gonna bring up that company, but mind you, we're talking about like it has to be an American company, all this stuff. So price and stuff's gonna, be heavy. So none of them 2011s are not gonna be that cheap. Which is funny because I almost did bought one.
The other thing again is fucking 9mm. Really? Like, who the fuck was begging for 2011s in 9mm?
No one. No,
me.
You?
I don't care for 45, and even though I have one, I'm more of a 9mm.
YouTube, a lot of people.
A lot of people like 9mm 1911 style guns.
Let's see.
A nice round.
Superbad says, "Geek question." Always welcome here on the Guns and Geeks podcast. I have a long-term. I have to long-term store my action figures. Most are out of the package. Any recommendations on how to do so? Long-term storage. Well, hopefully you're gonna store indoors. Don't store them in like a fucking garage that gets hot at all. And so, yeah, you keep them indoors somewhere. That's gonna be the biggest thing you can do.
If you're loose, I would suggest Ziploc bags too.
Yeah. Second would be keeping them out of the light, so boxing them up in something. Ziplocs can work. I mean, if you're keeping them in a cool, dry place, and you're not going to keep them in the light, then Ziplocs will last for a long time. If you want to step up from that, like, you can probably go to like Dollar Tree, and they have all those little plastic organizational cases and stuff that they sell. You could probably find something that'll work for what you're going to store away if you want a higher level of protection than just the Ziplocs. But
it's not good for them to be raw, just loose in a box, touching each other, because it messes the paint up. And
yeah, they'll get messed up. I would say, the other thing I would make sure, especially if you're going to keep them for long term, is make sure that you're like storing them in a way where you are not putting a lot of weight on any of the stuff, because it's all plastic, right? Like just in my move, which only took a few days, right? Less than a week, just in my move from, where I was to here, between the time I loaded stuff in boxes and then took it out, and I'm not driving in the heat, right? Like it dropped, like, I think when we left Texas, it was in the 50s. And then by the time we got halfway here, it was already below freezing and shit, right? So no heat or anything on the plastics in the stuff that I had boxed up. And by the time I get it unboxed here 5, 6, 7 days later, like, figures are all warped and stuff, just because they had other figures on top of them in the same box.
Mm-hmm.
And there I am busting out the blow dryer to get shit straightened out, to heat it back up, to go back into its original place. So just make sure you have them stored in a way where, like, if you're going to do like a layer of figures that are plastic, that there's a barrier between them and whatever's above them to keep the weight off of them, so they don't get broken or warped or whatever. But yeah, if you just want to throw them in Ziploc bags, as long as they're in a cold, dry, dark place, then that's fine. Let's see. Dino Spumoni says, prepping is more than guns. What about food and water? Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we did just talk about that briefly. But yeah, the food and water thing is like, yeah, it's cool if you have guns, and if you want to be Negan in the apocalypse or whatever, then probably guns may be all that you need. But if you want to be a decent human being, you're gonna not want to just go kill people and take their shit in a bad time, especially seeing as how most bad times don't require that, because most bad times are usually temporary.
Well, and the whole Negan thing is super cool until there's a mat on a rooftop with a 1022 and a scope and like 4 dozen mags, and kills Negan and all of his guys when they show up in plain sight to rob people. So, like, yeah, that's a cool idea, and I know it's kind of fun to watch Walking Dead, but like Matt on a rooftop with a 1022 and a Glock and like unlimited mags would do away with all of Negan and his cronies immediately.
But Negan's got a baseball bat with barbed wire.
I mean, if that's all it takes, then Duke's ready.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's look, I mean, you need to stock up on food and water. Anybody who's lived, I mean, I don't know anywhere in this country that hasn't gone through some shit, whether it's a hurricane or flooding or fires or snowstorms that knock out power or heat waves and power going out or whatever. Like, we've all dealt with shit. And fortunately for us, at this point, it's all been temporary, right? But we've all dealt with shit at some point or another. And at some point or another, chances are a lot of us are going to go through some shit that's going to be a little longer term. And that may be losing a job and having some economic problems. And that's when stocking up on food is a really, really good thing. It's not just for the apocalypse, right? Like, we talk about the zombie apocalypse a lot because it's fun, and it's a good way to kind of get you in that mindset of what would you do in a worst case scenario. But like, seriously, I mean, if you lost your job, you know what I mean, and you have to spend every penny you have just to try and pay your bills till you can find another job, and you don't have money to go buy groceries. Like, you need shit in the house. And I look at the food prep thing in some ways similarly, depending on what we're talking about, to ammo, which is, you know, buy what you can when you can, buy a little bit at a time. And you know, and I know I've talked about this in many times on chats, and I've probably done videos on this back in the day, but you know, there are certain things like, for instance, for anybody out there, Hormel products. Hormel, all their canned goods are all what they call shelf stable. That means even if it has a date on it, as long as the can isn't damaged, it's essentially good for as long as that can stays in, you know, in good condition, right? Like, there are Hormel products that have been opened up after decades that are still good to eat, right? Go out there and get some information on what companies actually produce shelf stable products. Hormel is one of them, right? That's a good thing to buy. I love, and I've said this many times before, go get yourself on the emailing lists of all the companies that make prep food. It's like My Patriot Supply, Mountain House, eFoods Direct. I can't even think of all the names of the different companies. Go get yourself on their mailing list, and chances are once a week you're going to get an email from one of them saying, "Oh, buy one get one free 72-hour kits this weekend," or something like that. And when you see those, buy them. A lot of times, you know, it'd be like, "Oh, get a 3-day supply of food for $20." You know, and they're doing that. They're loss leader sales. And, you know, if you can buy more, good, because I like those companies. And I'm not saying just take advantage of their sales. You know, they need to make money too. But if you don't have a lot of money to spend, it's a great way. Pick up on all those loss leader sales items that they drop. And again, if you get on all their email lists, dude, like at least once a week, you'll get an email from one of them saying they've got some kind of 72-hour kit or 24-hour kit or whatever the hell it is on sale. Buy one, buy two, buy three, whatever it is, right? If you've got the spare money, and stock up on that stuff. At the same time, every time you go to the grocery store, pick up a can of fucking Hormel chili or whatever the hell it is, right? Pick up some extra macaroni and cheese, and then, you know, vacuum seal it or something. You know, because if you can keep it dry and sealed, and, you know, keep like weevils from getting in it, macaroni and cheese, that powdered cheese and that pasta will last fucking forever, right? Little cheap shit like that. And again, just like ammo, buy a little bit every time you go to the store, even if it's just one can of something, and stick that away, because it is just as important. And, you know, depending on the situation and what might happen in a bad time, especially if it's like you lose a job or something, it's going to be way more important than your guns. Way more important. So, you know, and water is the other thing too. Water, depending on where you live, might not be as big of an issue. I would always, at the very least, recommend having a way to, you know, filter and, you know, sanitize water at the very least, even if you don't, because water is very difficult to stock up on unless you've got a lot of space, you know, to stock up on it and keep it someplace where, you know, because water's one thing. You can't just like fucking, like, that's awesome if you fill up a, you know, I've seen some really cool contraptions people come up with, and there's stuff you can just outright buy, where you can like hook up a 55 barrel to like your storm drain, you know, for your house or whatever, and filter it as it comes in. That's cool until it gets hot outside, and then you got to get that 55-gallon container in somewhere that is not going to be messed up because of the temperature, because unless you're gonna fucking filter that water and keep, like, it's gonna start growing shit, you know what I mean? Well, yep. So water is very difficult to store long term. What were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say, I was going to add something to that, you know, as far as like prepping things that people need to definitely worry about. And medicine is a big thing, because sickness will kill you quicker than anything else. You'd be surprised even the smallest thing.
First aid supplies, very, very important. That was a big deal when we moved. We had so much of it that we had to pack up and move. And the funny thing is, as I was going through it, we were going through and finding, stuff. It's like, okay, well, it's good we did this because it's about time to start going through that stuff anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we need more of this, this expired, and I was like, oh, I think I'm missing a tourniquet, so I got to get one of those, and just random shit like that. But yeah, I mean, like, to go back to the water thing real quick, like, I would recommend most people, if you don't have space, and look, a lot of people, you live in a condo, you live in an apartment, you don't have a place that you can keep large amounts of water, cool in a temperature controlled area. Get water filtration. Get yourself a water filter. There's a lot of really cool water filters on the market. Dude, even those cheap ones for like $20-25 at Walmart, and I'm blanking on the name of them.
The straws things?
Yeah, it's like Life Straw, or I can't remember what it's called, but they sell them like $20-25. I've got one in each bug out bag for me and all the family. Every family
I have one.
their own.
I have one.
Yeah,
I got one also.
Yeah, even something like that, and then get yourself. You can do both, and I've got to look it up because I've got it saved somewhere what the ratio is. But you can either get like the water
What, tablets?
tablet to clean your water, or and there's a ratio here, and I always forget what it is, but I want to say it's like 1 teaspoon of bleach per 5 gallons of water. Don't quote me on that. Look that up before you do that. I don't want to make anybody sick, but I believe I believe it's something like 1 teaspoon of bleach per 5 gallons of water, and then you mix it in and then just aerate the water, and that'll kill anything in the water. Of course, boiling is always, it's something as simple as, and look, people to this day do this all over the world. Take a 5-gallon container, stretch a fucking T-shirt on it, over it, pour the water into the 5-gallon bucket. That'll filter out a lot of the
oh yes,
particles and stuff,
grit and grime,
and then boil it after that. You know what I mean?
And I want to emphasize, like, you don't understand what happens when you get dysentery unless you've seen it. Or if you have, like, I'm not talking about, like, oh, you got the tummy hurts because you had too many pizza rolls. I'm talking about debilitating stomach cramps that make you throw up because you have a parasite inside you because you drank bad water. Like, you don't understand what that's going to do to you and your inability to function when you're just peeing out of your butt.
That's true, too.
I
like
went to the hospital,
sickness will kill you quicker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, even if you don't have a lot of money, buy yourself a 5-gallon bucket, and you can stretch a T-shirt over it. As long as you can boil water after you've somewhat filtered it, that's a great that's more, and that's so simple, and yet most people don't know that, which is weird to me. I don't know, but like most people, I'm sure everybody in this audience knows that but like, yeah, a T-shirt to filter the big particulate matter, and then boil your water, you're probably pretty good to go. So water filtration is I think number one before storage of water, unless you live someplace where you don't have access to water. If you live anywhere where you have access to, lakes, rivers, ponds, as we call them in South Texas, resacas, whatever, focus on water filtration first. Then if you've got space to store up some of those 5-gallon containers like Duke, me and you were looking at the other day, those BPA free ones you buy at Walmart, which are great, by the way. I've got several of them. If you can do that, cool, but you don't need to for prepping purposes. But yeah, I mean, there's so much that goes into it, but it's basically like the first thing I will recommend when somebody wants to get into prepping is just make a note of everything you go through in a day and pick the things that are absolutely necessary. And those are probably the things you should focus on prepping, for. If there's medicines or first aid stuff, obviously everybody has to eat, that kind of thing. Just make a mental note. Oh, I use this every day, or I use this every day. You know what I mean? Simple stuff sometimes too. Toilet paper. We all learned that little lesson during COVID, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, I've been stocking on toilet paper for 15 years, so it didn't affect me at all.
Same here.
But me and my wife, we had toilet paper, so we were good. But everybody else who had never thought about that learned that valuable lesson for about 6 months during COVID, right? That is just little stuff like that you might not think of. And it's not the fun, fancy stuff like buying a new AR-15 or whatever, but it is necessary even if you just lose your job and you can't afford to buy toilet paper anymore. Well, can you afford to buy it now? Buy an extra package of toilet paper and put it in a fucking closet. Just like with the ammo, just like with the food, just like with everything else. It's all about doing a little bit at a time, you know? So I think that the biggest deterrent to prepping that I've noticed is the intimidation factor of people thinking they have to get everything now and they have to get the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they watch all the YouTube videos of whoever the fuck's doing the latest, greatest fucking gun or, you know, fucking 2-year supply of some fucking bulk food items in buckets that they bought for $5,000 or whatever it is. And that's not at all like, yeah, that's cool. And if you've got tons of money to spend, awesome, go do it. But fucking who really has that much money to spend? Not many people. So it's just little steps, man. It's baby steps every fucking time, just like anything else in life. It's fucking baby steps and just getting in there and stacking away a little bit at a time for all your shit. Let me get these super chats. Sorry guys, I'm behind on super chats. Calhoun says NEA just wants a 2011 and 45 gap. Fuck no. I never want a 45 gap. Never, ever want a 45 gap. We got another one here. Preston Garvey says Matt won't be able to do that without a Glock 37. Which one's the 37? Is that the fucking 45 gap? Is the 37? What the fuck? Is this more fucking 45 gap bullshit? I don't remember. I cannot remember all the fucking Glock numbers. Like,
yeah,
I don't
Glock 37 is 45 gap.
Yeah, there you go. See, I knew it was a 45 fucking gap joke. Fucking knew it was. Oh shit. Preston Garber also says, get a water bed. It works as a bed and stores water. True. I mean, that's true. I mean,
what happens after you drink your bed?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, your water. I mean, the water will. I mean, I don't know. I haven't messed around with a waterbed since the fucking 80s. They seal up pretty good, and they are, you know, you're keeping them temperature controlled and in the dark. So, I mean, the water will go stagnant, I'm sure, after a while, like it would in anything. But if you filter it and boil it, I'm sure it's probably still good. So, yeah, I mean, look, the other side of that is like, you know, if you have a pool, right? Like, depending on how you treat your pool and what you put in it, I mean, you know, a pool is water storage. If you needed to, you could take pool water and boil it and drink it.
It's always good to set up a rain collection system too.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, absolutely. You could certainly do that. Grumpy Bear throws in, Duke died from dysentery on the Oregon Trail.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I haven't played Oregon Trail since, like, I don't know, 1986 or something when I was a kid. Probably like 10 years old the last time I played that damn game. They really, although I feel like they probably have, it's just like, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption or something. But they need to do a modern, like, video game version of Oregon Trail.
Oh, yeah.
Of just straight up a survival game. Like, you know, like Red Dead Redemption, I'm sure has aspects of that in it. But, like, seriously, like, the point of the game is like you're just trying to lead a group of people, you know, west, and it's just all straight survival. Like you could throw some gun mechanics in there of like hunting and, you know, protection from bears and wildlife and shit like that. Maybe you throw in a part of the game where like somebody in your group occasionally goes crazy and tries to kill everybody or something, right? Like throw some fun stuff in there too, but just like straight up fucking realistic survival of like, or just an absolute Oregon Trail update. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That'd be cool. And if it was multiplayer where you could get like a group together, dude, I would fuck.
Oh,
we would have fun. Like a fucking multiplayer survival game like that.
Oh, it'd be great.
Just like, yeah, that'd be fucking cool. I like that a lot. Let's see. Superbad says just a little ad on what you were saying. Use old school bleach. Don't use not that high efficiency non-splash bleach. Old school, just plain old fucking like. We buy all our bleach from Dollar Tree because it's cheap as shit. It's cheaper than everywhere else. That's where I recommend. And this goes exactly into what Ledlace is saying. Dollar Tree is a good way to stock up on hygiene products like body wash. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. We buy so much stuff from Dollar Tree. I fucking love Dollar Tree for many things. Like we don't always go there to buy food unless they have 25-cent pizzas. And then I steal them all from Duke. But we go to Dollar Tree for all kinds of stuff, especially cleaning and hygiene stuff. They have, everything you could possibly want. As far as that kind of stuff goes. I wouldn't particularly go there for their food because their food's not that great.
No.
And honestly, for like the portion sizes and stuff you get, it's not really that great of a deal. You'd be better off buying food at Walmart. But for household supplies, cleaning supplies, hygiene supplies, stuff like that, Dollar Tree's a fucking great place to go if you're trying to prep just to get stocked up on everything. It'll give you a great basis to start. I think, I certainly feel like I proved that outside of the knife category, because they don't got shit for fucking knives. But when I did that $50 bug out bag at Dollar Tree, the thing that you were supposed to do, Duke, because it was supposed to be your idea.
I remember.
You never did it.
Used to have some stuff on knives.
Duke, you can't blame Duke. Don't get mad at Duke. He was too busy buying and selling Model 10 revolvers.
Yeah, true. Duke, tell him how you felt tell Honda how you felt when I showed you and put in your hands my Brotherhood Model 10.
I know how I feel when I hold mine.
Yeah. How did you feel, Duke?
I felt embarrassed that I sold mine. Felt ashamed.
Yeah.
Felt ashamed.
As you should. So that's good. That's a good feeling. That's what I wanted. That's why I handed it to you.
I'm glad that you did that. It makes me feel better about myself.
Good. And you should, Honda, because you are a true brother.
Yeah.
I like my Model 10.
There you go. See?
Well, the thing is, not only did Duke, shame himself to the Brotherhood, but he also closed the door behind him, right? How did he do that, you ask? Oh, because he bought so much of the Brotherhood paraphernalia, let's say, that no one else was able to.
Yeah.
He bought the entire stock.
Yep. He shit on the Brotherhood.
And then he burned he bought out the wood to build the bridge and then burned it behind him.
For shame. I want to have him walk down the streets of Lapeer naked and just throw feces at him and yell shame.
Oh, yes.
How's the weather in the north?
Nice, man. It was a little hot. Dude, I came home from work today and my kid, dude, I didn't tell you this, dude. My kids were complaining it was too hot. I was like, it was like 55 degrees in the house, and we've all like acclimated so quick because the temperature went up today. It had been in the like teens and 20s since we've been here, and then today it got up into the low 40s. And I came home and my son's like, it's hot in the house. I'm like, I looked at the thing, I was like, it's 55 in the house, dude. Our house was never 55 down there. Like my family refuses to turn the heater on. They are like, fucking, I'm gonna enjoy this for as long as it lasts. Especially my son. He just wants to sit. He sits in the living room and gets on his fucking laptop and gets a blanket and will sit on the couch and just like, he's like, I just want it to get colder. I just want it to get colder. Like, everybody's loving it. And then I was telling everybody the other day, I was telling Duke that yesterday I went out and I was, yesterday it was, I don't know, low 20s. And I went outside and I was cleaning my car out. I had shorts, a T-shirt, and then I did have this jacket on. but this is not a coat or anything. This is a jacket. I had shorts, a T-shirt, and that jacket on. I was cleaning out my wife's car, and I was cleaning out my Suburban. And then the place we moved into, there was some damage to the railing on the front porch. So I was just outside with my fucking drill and shit, fixing the porch. It was like 22 degrees, and I was like, "Fuck, it feels great out here." I fucking love the cold, dude.
Yeah,
I love the cold. I'm sure after being here for a while that it will start to get to you. I'm sure
it won't. No, because you just enjoy it. You enjoy it for what it is.
You guys say that, but I've lived in Colorado my whole life, and I'm not a big fan of the cold.
Yeah,
it's cold all the
Same here.
time. The snow comes, it melts, it fucks shit up, dude. So it snowed so bad the other day that they had to bring out the snow plows and stuff, and the snow plows came through, and sometimes when they come through, they fuck the road up. Well, they fucked the road up and made a goddamn giant pothole right outside the entrance to my apartment complex. And I didn't know this, and I was driving home, and this pothole was covered by a lake of water and snow, and I hit it so hard in my son's car that I bent the fucking rim.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, down here, I've noticed that they
It's
mostly, I mean, in the smaller towns, they do have plows, but mostly, like, so I mean, and I don't know what fucking time they get out, but like, I'd get out early. Like, I'm leaving to go to work by like 5:20, 5:25 in the morning, and the roads are already clear and shit.
Yeah.
And down here, y'all guys have, it's not the snow plows, it's the fucking, they have the big fucking green
Salt trucks.
Well, they have I saw them because I've seen them before. They have those big fucking, maybe they dump out the salt trucks first. I don't know what the fuck they do, but it's like, they look like fucking street sweepers. They have these two big fucking brushes that between the both of them are wider than the fucking truck. And it just drops it on the fucking snow and the ice and just shoots it out. Whatever the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. It just looks like a street sweeper for fucking ice.
It's a salt truck. Yeah, it's a salt truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that shit just fucking clears the fucking road. So I don't know, man. I'm coming from South Texas. I'm going to enjoy the cold weather for as long as possible because it's so enjoyable to not fucking sweat. Like even we had the AC going and shit, it wouldn't. I mean, even if I got the AC going full blast 24/7, which we had to do all the time down there, like it would never get below like 76 in the house, never. And the air conditioning's struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like at night, if you leave it, you drop it down to 72. It might actually get down to 72 in the middle of the night. Well, that's with the AC going full blast 24/7. So I'm going to fucking enjoy it for as long as possible because I'm just so happy to not fucking sweat. So, I mean, I was not joking. All those times I said I would much rather be in cold weather than hot weather, I fucking meant it. Like, I would much rather have to deal with, 4 months of fucking snow and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking sweat.
I always thought that was just because, like,
I agree.
wherever you're at is kind of like what you're used to and what, I don't know, you kind of discount or ignore or don't like,
Yeah, well, it's the whole grass is greener shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the grass, oh, fuck. Like a lot of people grow up in the cold. They're like, fuck, I wish I could just be somewhere where it was sunny and 75 degrees and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side because it's like you look at what somebody else gets to deal with. And there's certainly an aspect of that for me. You know what I mean? Certainly. I fucking grew up in Texas, sweat all the time. Even growing up in Dallas where we did have seasons, right? The summers were still fucking brutal, right? Like, not unusual living in Dallas to have, 113, 114 degree summer days. Just fucking bitter fucking sun beating down on you, right? So yeah, the grass is always greener. But I learned this when I lived in Colorado for a year back when I was 19, is that I much more enjoy cold weather. I just enjoy it better. I'm in a better fucking mood when I'm not sweating. I don't mind putting on more clothes to fucking stay warm. You know what I mean? Like that bothers me less than literally like waking up in the morning, taking a shower, and walking outside to go to your car. And by the time you get in your car and start it up, you're sweating. It's like, what the fuck?
I think that's the difference between like South Texas and, you know, like Florida gets hot as fuck, but like it rains there every fucking day. And you know what I mean? Like there's beaches and chicks in bikinis and like you walk around wearing flip flops and no one looks at you weird, you know, it's just normal.
Yeah,
like
Florida not too bad.
California.
No, let me counteract that, Honda, because remember that those areas still count as the South, and that humidity is no joke. I don't like it.
Well, and then California, like the weather's just always like Southern California, the weather's always like 75 degrees and fucking perfect, and you could wear shorts every fucking day of the year. Or like Hawaii, where every single day of the year is 12 hours of sun, 12 hours of darkness. It's like perfect fucking weather all the goddamn time, you know? And then I live in Colorado where it's like, oh, there's another blizzard today. Like, God fucking damn it, dude.
Yeah. No, I will also say that dealing with the weather at 19 versus dealing with the weather at 40 is a big difference.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing was, Duke, you were saying this, right? Like the time we chose to move, y'all have gotten more fucking snow.
Oh, in the past like 2 weeks than we did all season. Yeah. It was a weird time.
We moved in. We got here the day the snow started dumping, and it's been snowing. Like it didn't snow today or yesterday, but it's been snowing like off and on every fucking day since we've been. And I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. There may come a time when I'm, you know, maybe by the end of winter next year, when I've dealt with it for like, I don't know, 3-4 months straight, that maybe I'll be like ready for a fucking summer day. But that ain't now.
No, because you can like I said, you can wear extra layers. You can stay inside and have fun and not have to, like, you're not miserable. You're just like, oh, I'm toasty. I'm good in here. I think you can escape it, unlike the heat. And a majority of the year is super enjoyable. We just, even today, like we went for a walk. It's 40 degrees. We took the dog for a walk. We went outside. We just bundled the kids up. It was awesome.
Oh, it was beautiful outside.
Yeah, it was great to be outside, go for a walk, get some exercise, you know.
Yeah. On my way home from work today, I fucking had the window down and I didn't have the heater on or anything. I was just enjoying the fucking breeze coming in on the drive home. It was nice, man.
Well, dude,
I'm curious.
Here's the difference, dude. Hot is uncomfortable. Hot is sweaty. Hot is muggy. Hot is sticky. Hot is gross. Cold hurts. If it's cold enough, it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
And the wind.
You stub your fucking toe, you hit your fucking finger, you do a fucking thing, it hurts 10 times worse than it does normally. Like, the cold sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if, you know,
I'd rather be a little hot than
run
cold as
outside for a
shit.
second and go to your car and then come right back in. Like, yeah, it's not so bad. But a lot of the time, you get stuck out there for hours on end doing something, and you come back inside, and for like the rest of the fucking day, you're just fucked up because of the fucking cold, dude.
Especially
I ran out yesterday. We got trash days on Mondays here, so I went and took the trash out last night, and I went outside and grabbed the trash from around back of the house and stuff, and pulled it around front and stuff, and I ran outside in shorts and a t-shirt and no shoes in the snow. It was great. I loved it. I was
going to ask. Because for you guys, you like the look of the snow, huh?
Yeah, that's because he's a Viking. He's a Viking. He used to that shit.
Okay. Because I noticed. Because I know it's like
weather
my girl.
of his people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I know. Yeah, I noticed like my girl and some other girls I've talked to, they don't like that look. I guess it just looks depressing to them because I guess they like looking at the sunshine and all that other stuff. Me, I'm just like, you know, whatever. But I don't take the cold lightly. But that's gonna be probably more difficult because I can't even get her to go live in the cold.
I think dude, I love the way it looks when everything's snowed over in the yard. We got.
Well, see, I always liked that Seattle weather. You know, the little gloomy sky and all that other stuff. Some people don't like that shit.
Down here, it's not like the sun wasn't out. Like the sun's out. It's just everything's covered in snow and the sky's still bright and shiny. So it's not like it's fucking gray and dark and shit or anything. So it's just like the storm comes in at night and then in the morning the sun's still out, but now everything's covered in snow. So Let me get these super chats here. Tarkay says, "Y'all are sick in the head." I says, "I know. I like it." Well, so okay. Let me get a breakdown here. So it's me, Duke, Patriot in the Dark, Dino, Tarkay. Who else out there is actually in Michigan now? And Tarkay, what part of Michigan are you from? I forgot. You said.
You know who else is in Michigan, Matt?
Who?
Bunch of faggots.
Oh, well, in the governor's house, yes. That's true. That's true. Now, I don't remember what part of fucking Michigan Tarkay said he was from. I don't remember. But I know Patriot in the Dark is in the Davidson area.
Yeah, he's like right in between us.
Yeah. And then Dino, where's Dino from?
Like Indiana, I think.
I thought
Like,
Dino was from here. I thought Dino was in Michigan.
No, he's right on the border.
Oh, but he's close then.
He's
Okay.
close. Like if we go to the west side of the state, he's right there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Northwest Indiana, he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what.
Old man butt wrinkles. Dude, you guys should all hang out and like make a bunch of videos, and then I will
should.
totally not be jealous at all. It'll be fine.
Wait, Northwest
snowman.
Indiana, so that means he's closer to me.
Yeah, he should. He should totally fucking come on. Oh, he's in Chelsea. Okay, Duke, where's Chelsea? 10 minutes north of Chelsea?
I don't know. I don't even know where it's at. In Michigan, I don't know.
All right. But you're from Michigan. You're supposed to know every fucking town in Michigan.
Exactly.
That's what everybody expects about Texas. Dude, you know how many times fucking people just random, I went to this fucking town in Texas. You ever been there? I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is, dude. You know how big Texas is? Like, I've never even fucking heard of that town. But if
Yeah, I
you're
got
from
the
the
names.
state,
A lot of weird towns out there.
from the state, everybody expects you know every town there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if you don't, they get offended.
Like, how could you not know a town in your own state, you dumbass?
Yeah.
Old man butt wrinkles from Detroit.
I get that with where I work at.
Suburban Detroit.
We have over 13,000 employees, and somebody, do you know so-and-so? No.
Oh, fuck no. Only Butler was in Detroit. Yeah, Lele's is in Ohio, so he's not that far away. Joe Schmo's in Ohio.
Content House. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's see. Target. Oh, I already got that one. Library Garrett dropped one in. Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Says the cities in Colombia had better streets than the cities here now, and that's a third world country. Like where my tax is actually going. Yeah.
To pave the roads in Colombia.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, through USAID.
Gender affirming care.
Oh shit. Let's see. Let me get the rest of these super chats here. Okay, got that one. Dino says we should all hang out and talk shit about Honda. Oh Jesus. It is fun though. I will say it is fun. Finally, in my entire YouTube career, living in a place where I'm actually close to other people that I know from YouTube.
Oh yeah,
because I never have. Like nobody. Like, even though there were other YouTubers in Texas, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm in this part of Texas. Well, that's 8 hours away, dude. That's not close.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're in Texas, but look how fucking big Texas is. Now I'm in a place where, like, dude, Michigan, Illinois, fucking Indiana, Ohio. Dude, even people over on the fucking East Coast, like, for me, coming from Texas, that's not that far, dude. You know?
Yeah, I'm right next to you.
Right, it's like being in Europe. Y'all, everybody's close to everything.
Like I'm close to a lot more people now than ever after 15 years on fucking YouTube. I've never been this close to fucking people. You know, it always is. You know, gone to Tulsa a couple of times and meet up with people, and that was fun and cool. But like, that was a very fucking rare occasion. You know what I mean? So. It's just cool to know that I'm closer to people that I can actually like fucking, you know, that I actually already like talking to because I get on here and talk to all you fuckers, you know.
Matt the Viking.
My wife
two of us are from the West Coast.
I've already talked to you. At some point, my wife does want to go, at least for maybe like a weekend to Chicago.
Do that. We can finally meet. I'm an hour away.
Of course, check out the nice parts of Chicago.
Yes.
So
they're all nice. What do you mean?
The north
nice?
side.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Do you
north
want She wants to at some point. You know, I don't know when, but at some point. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go look up Leo while I'm down there.
And
I have to walk, although I might just have to walk around with him so he can protect me.
Yes.
I'm cool.
Don't forget Van Drake. How dare you?
Well, how far away are you from Chicago? I mean, I know you're close, but how far is close? I know you don't live like in
50,
Chicago.
like 50 minutes.
50 minutes. Okay, so that's not that bad. That's not bad at all.
He a lie. He 2 hours away.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Lil Droop's wife is here. Are you making like little? Now, do you just use like a permanent marker, or do you actually have him tattoo like once a year how far his balls have dropped?
I don't know, but I can start doing that, huh?
You just need to start putting a little marker, just a little permanent marker, keep track of it. You know what I mean? Just year after year and see where they are.
At least I'm not always pregnant like that little pump bucket.
Yeah, but it's your fault, dude.
And I say it's 100% your fault. Not even 50-50.
Yeah. She probably asleep half the time. Don't know what's going on. Like, what the shit?
Oh, man.
I don't even remember this.
She just wake up pregnant.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh, Silverline, he's in Ohio too. So see, that's close. That's what I'm saying, man. Dude, I've never been close to everybody. This is the first time I can actually like, and even for stuff that's not like fucking, YouTube gun related, right? Like, with Duke talking about going to fucking Pennsylvania for that Dawn of the Dead shit. When is that? That's in June, right? Duke, did you fall asleep, you motherfucker? He fucking fell asleep.
And he's gone.
That motherfucker worse than Joe Biden, I swear.
Yeah, I'll get him.
Oh, he's done pretty good. He's done pretty good, this chat. He made it more than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good for Duke.
Hey, man, I need you to start chat at 8 o'clock Central Time.
No, fuck no, dude. I can't.
Yes,
Not now. Dude, I wake up at 4:45 in the morning to go to work. I can't do that, dude.
You'll get used to it.
I'm already
at 5 in the morning.
It's already good. Like, when I came home from work today, I took like a fucking nap. I took like a 2.5 hour nap just so I can get some sleep in before the chat, and then try and go back to sleep after the chat for another 4 or 5 hours, just so I can try and get as close to 8 hours as possible before I have to go back to work in the morning.
Yeah, I forgot you are older than me.
And then on days that I don't do a chat, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, man, I'm probably just going to come home and fucking be passed out by like 6, 7 o'clock and just fucking sleep all night. But on days I do a chat, I'm gotta like break up my sleep into chunks so that I can be awake to do the chat. Otherwise, dude, if I had not taken a nap when I came home, I'd have been asleep by 7 o'clock tonight, and y'all wouldn't have seen me. So I was like, fuck, I came home, I ate, and then I fucking immediately like took a nap for like 2.5 hours because I woke up at 4:45 this morning. We get up, get ready, and then it's about 25 minutes, 30 minutes to work. And I like to get there early. I don't like fucking. I'm one of those, if you're on time, you're 15 minutes early kind of.
Man, I don't go to sleep till that time, and I got to get up at 7 o'clock.
Fuck is wrong with you?
2 jobs, man.
Fuck that shit.
Don't kill over, man.
Yeah, I bet Brianna would love that.
In the chat says you got to go to medieval times. I've been to medieval. We have medieval times in Dallas. I've been to medieval times before.
I've never been there.
No, it was. I mean, I haven't been since the 90s. So, I mean, I remember it was fun.
You need to get some of that like Giovanni, whatever the fuck it is, pizza.
Giordano's.
That's the one. Where they like bake it and fucking the sauce is on top and it's got like a foot thick cheese layer, whatever the fuck it is.
Sounds good.
Talk about a deep dish.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like world renowned and people go from all around the world to Chicago and get that fucking pizza. So if you're like right there, you might as well get it one time at least.
So I take it.
I wish they had that fucking. I wish they had that fucking pizza place that they had in fucking Denver. I love that shit. That shit was delicious.
Yeah, some Bojos.
Yeah, it was fucking good. I want more of that, and I want more of that. What was that crazy chicken fucking place or whatever the hell it was called?
Oh, the fucking what is the name of the place?
Psycho Hot Chicken. Yeah, Flaming Bird. There you go.
Flaming Bird.
Dude, that's the best fucking chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, dude, pretty good.
It was fucking delicious.
Flaming Bird. That sounds like
That
some
chicken
hot
place
pizza.
we went to that first night that had the fried chicken and all the
Oh yeah,
mac and cheese and all that
Yep.
shit.
That was fucking delicious. So, and then I went up into the mountains and tried their Mexican food. Ugh.
It was disgusting, wasn't it?
That was Mexican food. I'm assuming it's just they were making Mexican food for white people, and they thought that's what white people like. And I guess some white people do. I don't know, but that
If
shit
they're still in
was not-
business, that's what they like.
that shit was not made for anybody from fucking Texas. That's for goddamn sure.
Depending on where you're at in the mountains, there'll be like the generic Mexican food place and the generic Italian food place or whatever, you know? And it's like they don't really have any competition. So sometimes they're like really good and sometimes they're really bad.
Yeah, the place we went to was not good at all. Although them fucking breakfast burritos you took me to were fucking the bomb.
Yeah, man, everywhere I took you to was like good places. Man.
Great. Fuck it, that was the best food I had the whole time I was there. So, yeah. All the places you took me to, best fucking all that food was delicious.
So you got to know the locals. If you just show up and you're like, I don't know, I guess let's go get some Mexican food. And you go to some fucking nasty ass Mexican food place. Versus, I bet if you'd like had known someone who lived in town or whatever, you'd be like, no. We're going to this fucking hole in the wall that you never fucking can't even find on Google Maps or something. You know?
Well, and it's not just knowing somebody from town, but it's also knowing people with the right taste in town. Because I'm willing to bet a lot of them bland ass motherfuckers thought that was good Mexican food.
Like, remember when Travis P11 was trying to tell you about quesadillas in his microwave?
Oh yes.
And he called them like cheesies, or I forget what he called them.
I forget what he called it. I was like, what the shit? That
And
is
you're like,
not
no,
a
you
good
pick up
idea,
a
bro.
pan and you heat up some butter, and you like told him how to make a quesadilla.
I remember that shit.
And then he made it. He did a video on it, and it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is better than my cheesy roll-ups or whatever the fuck.
It's so funny.
Oh, Duke's awake again.
No, I had to go run and help my kids are throwing up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, horrible.
I was asking you something, Duke, and I don't remember what the fuck it was.
My bad, dude.
I don't remember what the hell it was. I asked you something, and then you weren't here, and now I
Oh,
forgot.
Sleepy Joe Duke.
So we thought you fell asleep. So.
No, the kids are. My son's getting sick again, man. Like,
Oh, Jesus, dude.
it's like rolling through.
Yeah, all
it.
my kids sick. All of them sick.
Shit, I
You
just
know,
finished
like,
puking on the
so
weekend.
many kids are sick. It's like the whole village is sick, dude. Like Jesus.
Yeah. Was which is it? Your son?
Yeah, my son, because
You said they want you.
I know I probably brought it home, obviously, and then so then he was like, it went through the whole house. My wife, my kid, my son, my daughter, and then like everybody was feeling better tonight, like ish. So we went for a walk, and then he just started throwing up again. So I feel horrible.
Yeah.
I hate when my kids get sick.
How's your youngest though? She doing okay?
She's okay. She had it like a couple days ago, so I don't know, man. I
Because
just
sometimes the littlest ones get hit the hardest with the flu.
yeah.
So, although sometimes it's the exact opposite. Like I've had it before, where like fucking, we all, like all the kids had the flu, right? Like they tested positive for it, but no fever, no nothing, little sinus problems, stuff like that. Meanwhile, my wife's in the bedroom dying,
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And the kids are still running around acting like everything's fine.
Yep.
So it just depends. And I don't know, because there's flu A, flu B every year, and I don't even know what the fucking difference is. I have no idea. Who the fuck knows? I know you're probably supposed to know that shit. I don't know.
No, well, what they do for that, by the way, is they like try to predict what's going to be the most likely version of flu based upon mutations in the flu strains that are out there in the years previous. So what they do is they take a version of flu and they mutate it in a way that they think is likely to be mutatable in nature. And then they come up with some sort of a antigen for that version of the flu that they cook up in their lab. And then that's the flu shot that they give you. So it could be that, like there's several different versions of the flu out there, and you catch the one, if you get the flu shot, that has nothing to do with the flu shot. Yeah. Or they could even give you the right fucking flu shot for the flu that you caught. They just messed up the fucking the evolution of it. Yeah.
No, I've never gotten the flu shot, and I only know of one time I've ever gotten the flu. So
I'm not sure I've ever got the flu, and I've never had the flu shot.
No. I can only say I got the flu because I did get sick for a couple of days at the same time that everybody else in the house got sick from the flu. So I assume that's what it was. I was only sick for like a Sunday, and then like by the end of the day, Monday, I was fine. But, I'm assuming that's what it was. But who the fuck knows? But, all right, what else do we got to discuss here? What else is the chat saying? Dwayne's only 614 miles from us. Well, there you go. That's just a quick drive.
It's like 12 hours. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. That's like going from one side of Texas to the other. It's not actually that bad. Or like driving straight from deep South Texas all the way to Denver in one fucking trip without stopping.
Yeah, you're retarded.
I did that twice, dude. On the way up there and on the way back. And on the way back, I did it with no fucking sleep.
Savage.
You're lucky you're still alive.
Yeah. I did get a speeding ticket on the way home, but that was
they didn't test you for fucking crack or something based upon
no.
You look like you've been awake for 72 hours straight, sir.
Well, as I woke up Friday morning and then took them to the airport and then came to your house and we hung out for the day. And then I left at 10 o'clock that night?
I forget. I honestly don't remember.
It was because we did a chat that night and I left after we did a chat on your channel. And then I think it was 10 o'clock that night. So I'd been up since 7, 8 o'clock that morning. And then I drove and I think I got back home at 6 o'clock Saturday night. 6 or 7, something like that.
See, that was back when Duke got to feel what it felt like for his friends to hang out without him.
Yes.
Yes.
Duke's still mad about the shotgun, though.
Now it's my turn. Yeah, I tried to sell it just because,
Super funny.
Yeah, because it's funny. I could tell everyone that I sold the shotgun that Duke wanted.
Just for spite? That's so odd.
Yeah, for spite and money. 2 reasons.
Okay. No, anyway. Well, it is about time to wrap the chat up for this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, it's bedtime for Maddie, man.
Yeah, I gotta wake up ass crack before dawn. So, and I'm not even tired right now. I took a fucking nap when I got home from work because I was like, I got a chat. I was like tomorrow night when I get out of work, I got no chat. I'm gonna come home probably by 6, 7 o'clock maybe at the latest. I'm just gonna be in bed and sleep the rest of the fucking night. I got to get up. I came home 8. Fucking took a nap for about 2.5 hours. Now I gotta force myself to go back to sleep now that I'm not fucking tired. These chats wake me up, dude. They wake me up. Just I don't know.
Hey, do you wear a hat? Do you wear a hat? Because I know your head and ears gotta get cold as shit.
Yeah, I've got a hat. Yeah, I got a.
When you okay, I was about to say, yeah, you a true Viking if you don't even wear a hat.
I mean, I don't wear it all the time, but if I'm gonna be outside for a while, I'll fucking wear it. If I'm just getting in and out of the car and shit, I don't fucking wear the hat. So it just depends. But
his hat has the horns on it.
Yes,
just in case.
I mean, Mac, that's that MAGA hat.
But all right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. We will be back on Wednesday. We'll do this all over again. Same Matt time, same Matt channel. So you guys have fun. Enjoy the next couple days. As always, deuces, yo. shall not pee in fridge, all that good shit. And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.